Good morning. I am Bev Curtis here at House of Brokers with Bev and Company, and welcome to Breakfast with Bev. This morning I have the pleasure to be with Brad Gehring here with America's Preferred Home Warranty Company. And so I'd like Brad to kind of introduce yourself because today's topic is going to be about the home warranty process in a real estate transaction.
Thank you, Bev. As Bev mentioned, my name is Brad Gehring. I'm currently an area sales manager for America's Preferred Home Warranty in the states of Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, and would simply like to educate and inform with some of the questions Bev's going to be posing today.
And that's kind of the whole purpose of our forum here is basically for our friends, clients, customers to educate and inform on real estate topics that we feel like could be of real value. So let's kind of just start with the basic question of what is, Brad, a home warranty when it comes to the real estate transaction?
Great question, Bev, and I'm glad you asked that. So many people don't quite understand what a home warranty is designed to do and not designed to do. So basically, a home warranty is merely a service contract that helps offset the costs when a major mechanical system or appliance malfunctions. Warranty contracts are not preventative maintenance. They are to repair or replace items after there's been a malfunction.
Okay, very good. And so it seems like Murphy's Law is always if you're getting ready to put your home on the market, or you just closed on your home, or you've been in a week later, something tends to go wrong that's just unforeseen. No matter how much due diligence you did to the home, how much maintenance and care, you had your professional inspections, something always comes up. So tell us, how is it beneficial? Because there's two parts here, because one is you can actually have seller coverage, and that would be during the time of the listing period. And then there's also the time where you could negotiate coverage for the buyer at time of contract. And it's typically good from 1 year from the anniversary of purchase. And then obviously if there's, not too many claims, that you have the right to go ahead and renew. So let's start from the seller side real quick. Tell me, how does that benefit come in with the peace of mind?
Great question, Bev. And the reason that, in my opinion, the sellers/listing coverage is so important is what we want to do is to start coverage prior to the closing or prior to the sale. And the biggest value that that holds is obviously if things are still working and functioning properly while it is listed. It is much more difficult for a warranty company post-sale to now come back and deny some claims as a pre-existing condition because we actually had coverage on these items before the sale took place. And typically, Bev, the last thing that a home seller wants to do is to pump more money into a house that they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
So it does provide coverage during the listing period. A small deductible is required. It's a good thing to have, not only from a marketing perspective, but to provide peace of mind for the seller.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so if the seller opts not to purchase that up front, if they just decide not to, and that's the seller's choice, so the buyer then can come in at time of contract and offer to negotiate that in the terms of their offer. So from the buyer's perspective, what does that kind of look like?
Okay, another good question, Bev. From the buyer's perspective, here again, if we can provide a continuum of coverage, it's much more user-friendly for the buyer to expect coverage to be put on place for things that already have had coverage for a while. From the buyer's perspective, we're in a budget-minded society, and the more we can budget for unexpected surprises, it can be easier for everybody. And another thing that it does prevent is the home warranty company should get the first call when something malfunctions, not necessarily the real estate agent or the seller.
Mm-hmm. Well, and many times things go wrong and it's not intentional on anyone's part too. So, I mean, it's not like it's foul play or anything like that. So I do think the peace of mind factor is pretty invaluable to all parties involved. So with that being said, it's our understanding that, a buyer can negotiate this in the time of contract, or they can even buy it themselves at a later date. Is that not correct?
You're absolutely correct, Bev. Home warranties in today's environment can be purchased either at the close, or there actually are products that can go direct to consumer even after the close has taken place. there are many warranty companies that will allow coverage to be put on the property, that even if you are an existing homeowner. So,
and it appears that most home warranties that we work with, and yours especially too, there is kind of a basic plan, and then you can also do some upgrades if you choose to. So it is kind of something where the buyer or the seller can kind of pick and choose what coverage service that they'd like, correct?
yeah, you're absolutely right. In a society where there are always options and upgrades available, there typically is a base plan by most home warranty companies, and then they each do offer options and upgrades.
Okay.
And those can be chosen typically at the close is when those determinations are made, because the buyer is choosing what they want to have covered.
Okay. And if anybody has any questions that they'd like to send our way, don't hesitate to chime in, because Brad is an expert in his area here with the home warranties. So he's a great person to visit with on that. So as far as cost then, Brad, the seller can pay for it at time of closing. They can negotiate for it. The buyer can buy it at a later time. What kind of costs associated with this and deductibles do you typically see? Because I know they're all over the board.
You're exactly right, and they are all over the board. It does vary by home warranty company. Typically, the price points are going to range anywhere between $550 to $700. Obviously, the more comprehensive coverage that you have, the price does escalate a little bit, but there are options and upgrades which make the price points not only affordable, but really comprehensive coverage.
Is there times where one could be denied coverage in a situation? I mean, does that ever come about? Or, you know, if I'm a seller and I want to list my home, am I a shoe-in per se to get my coverage? Or, you know, is there any kind of stipulations that goes along with that? Or is that a question you can even answer?
No, I'll be glad to answer that and address that, Bev. Coverage cannot be denied. However, we do want to minimize and eliminate the levels of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically, if a warranty is purchased, there might not be coverage on each item, because if it does not work prior to the coverage being in place, the propensity of a claim being denied obviously does exist. So
sure,
coverage itself will not be denied, but there might be some items that, if they have malfunction before coverage starts, could be a denied claim.
Yeah, that makes sense, because pre-existing conditions would certainly be something that you would have to take into full consideration. Absolutely. So can I ask, Brad, what makes your company at America's Preferred Home Warranty the special company to use your services? Is there anything that you want to share with us that you feel like is a real benefit with your company?
Well, I think one of the biggest differentiators between America's Preferred Home Warranty and our competitors are that we want to give the control back to the homeowner. So we do allow the homeowner to choose the contractor of their choice for all the repairs and replacements that would happen on legitimate claims. This varies according to company. Again, we feel that we want the homeowner to be in control. They feel more comfortable by having someone in their home that maybe they already trust, as opposed to the consumer being dictated to by a warranty company as to who will come and when. Have they been coached on what to say, what not to say? Mm-hmm. So we want to take that out of it and, as I said, allow the homeowner to have control.
That's fantastic. Well, I know we've always enjoyed working with you. We work with many home warranty companies that are out there in the market. Brad is one that I have to say is an expert in his area, and his company, when we have used them, has always been Johnny on the spot, taking care of everything, and just very pleasant to work with from the customer standpoint, because there's nothing worse than getting the call after the closing or during the listing, and someone's in, you know, it's a very hectic time in your life when you're making a major move, and then something goes out, or never fails, the air conditioner goes out in the heat of July when you're moving. And to have that peace of mind with the home warranty company is very beneficial to all parties involved. So, okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to add this morning, Brad, that you can think of that'd be beneficial?
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity. I've always enjoyed working with real estate professionals at House of Brokers, especially Bev and her team. And I would just encourage you to, as a consumer, to do your due diligence. Coverage varies by company, as do the price points. Would like an opportunity to earn that consideration, but I also understand there's many players in the field.
Very good. Well, thank you, Brad, very much this morning for joining us. We greatly appreciate your time and your expertise, and it's always a pleasure working with you as well. If you are considering making a purchase or selling your home, we would certainly like for you to consider us here at Bevan Company at House of Brokers Realty, Inc. And as Brad said, there are many choices to choose from when it comes to home warranties, but we certainly do recommend his services and his company because he has served our clients very well. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. We greatly appreciate your time. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week, guys.